All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today is March 25th, 2025. It is 7 o'clock p.m. and we are on the Olivet City Council chambers. I will open up the meeting. Madam Clerk, please take roll.
Mayor Waldman,
I am here.
Chairman Pro Tem Knox,
Here.
Councilmember Clark,
I am here.
Councilmember Weil,
Here.
Councilmember Solomonov.
Here.
All right, thank you so much. Item number 2 is communications, and I am proud to announce that this communication is a proclamation for an Eagle Scout, Brandon Barrett, my council member to the left, Other People's Rights. No, you have a son that I went to his.
I have 2 Eagle Scouts in my house,
Yeah.
and I'm very proud of you, young man, especially for someone from my community. But I'm even more so proud of mom and dad because I know the commitment it takes to take someone to that level. And congratulations. I promise you, what you have achieved will carry with you for the rest of your life. My son has gotten jobs before he even interviewed because he was an Eagle Scout. And I promise you, it will be worth its weight in gold. Congratulations to you.
I told him I was gonna let speak because I went to your son's.
Yep. He
I
got
did.
his proclamation right here.
Yeah. All right. So within this proclamation, it is recognizing Brandon Barrett. Whereas Brandon Barrett, a resident of Olivet, member of Boy Scout Troop 344, has attained the rank of Eagle Scout. And whereas Brandon's service project consisted of building fish habitats in Lake 28 at Bush Wildlife Center to increase their fish population. And whereas Brandon has helped lead his troop in a number of leadership positions, including as senior patrol leader, earning 134 merit badges. And whereas Brandon enjoys high adventure and has been to all 4 high adventure bases, and in 2023 attended the World Scout Jamboree in South Korea. And whereas Brandon Barrett has displayed leadership, enthusiasm, and joy for scouting and made outstanding contributions to our community, now therefore, I, Missy Waldman, Mayor of the City of Olivet, on behalf of the entire City Council, wish to congratulate and honor Brandon Barrett for his remarkable service to the community and becoming an Eagle Scout. And Brandon, if you'd come on up, and I would give you your proclamation, and if anybody wishes to have any remarks for Brandon, please feel free. All right, that's the loving, fuzzy, wonderful stuff that makes up our community. Item number 3, I'm sorry, is the city manager's report. Good evening, Ms. Yapley.
Good evening. Share my screen. All right. So my report for this evening, we're going to start off with Coffee with the Mayor. Is April 9th at 8:45 at Five Oaks, and it is going to be the Olivet City Council. So all 5 members of your city council will be there, kind of thinking back on their last year. And it will also be Mayor Waldman's final coffee with the mayor, as well as Councilmember Knox, his final coffee with the mayor. So we would invite the community to come out, see all 5 members of the council, as well as congratulate Councilmember Knox and Mayor Waldman on their service to the city. And then we have the annual large bulk trash collection. That's going to start April 21st through April 25th. So this is typically items that are too big to go in your regular trash container, but this does not include appliances. So you can put out furniture, lamps, and other bulky things. No construction debris either. But anything else, please put it out on the curb that last full week in April. If you want more information, it's on the city's website, or you can follow the QR code. There's a whole list of things, including if you do have an appliance that needs to be taken away, how you can have that done with Republic Services. Olivet summer and spring activity guide is out and should be hitting your mailboxes.
What a phenomenal document. It hit my
Yeah,
mailbox.
It's, I think, 28 pages. I think it's the longest one we've ever done. So there's a ton of stuff going on. It's also available on the website, or you can again follow that QR code, and you will see that we're using a new program called Flipping Book that allows you to flip through it as if it is a book online. So it's much easier to read. And we're implementing Flipping Book on a variety of documents that are up on the city's website. So we would encourage everybody to look through that activity guide and find something that you would enjoy doing, and please come out and participate. The citywide yard sale, as you are going through your home and for bulk trash, you can figure out if there are things you'd like to put out for the yard sale. Will be May 17th and 18th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can certainly participate one day or both days. Yard signs are available with a $20 deposit at 5 Oaks. And if you register by 9 p.m. on Tuesday, May 13th, then you can be included on the yard sale maps. You're not required to be on the yard sale maps. If you wake up on the 16th and go, oh my gosh, I think we should be in the yard sale on the 17th. You're welcome to do that. You just won't be able to be in any of the publications and things that we push forward. So registration, again, you can follow that QR code, or you can find registration on the city's website. The Centennial Greenway, this is the part between Warson Park and through Indian Meadows Park to Dealman Road. That kind of grand opening is going to be Saturday, May 3rd from 9 to 11 in the morning at 5 Oaks. So I know a number of community folks have been walking on the Centennial Greenway. It's been exceptionally popular. They are finishing some of those last little bits. The snowstorm and ice storm in January kind of put them behind. So they are finishing that up, but please come on out and partake in the opening celebration events. And you can find all that information and much more in our weekly newsletter, This Week in Olivet. So again, I encourage everybody to sign up and keep up with what's going on in the city.
All right, does anybody have any questions of the city manager? Noting none, we'll go to item number 4, which is staffing reports.
Okay.
And I will say, I read everyone's staffing report, and again, it gets more informational, and and it was a wonderful thing to see. Your style, what you're asking to provide an information is great. Thank
Yep.
you.
So upcoming meetings are on the list here. I would just note Economic Development Commission meets on Monday, the 31st, and then you have the regularly scheduled meetings there on your calendar. the fire department spent some quality time doing training, bailout belt buddy training. Say that 3 times fast. But this is a very important safety training for them as they learn how to help their buddy, their belt buddy, escape a burning building when they need to get out quickly, when they can't see, and that they need to rely on one another. So they are up on the mezzanine that the city has here, and they have built that training scenario, and they spent some time working on that. And then Parks and Rec. So camp this year, summer camp this year is going to be at Five Oaks. It's been rebranded to Camp Five Oaks. So we would encourage families to sign up. Camp runs from June 2nd to August 15th. So there'll be all kinds of fun and exciting things to do for the kiddos. So please sign up for that. And then up in that upper right-hand corner, those are some of our weed warriors. They had their final kind of work day this year on March 8th, clearing out a bunch of honeysuckle up on the trails. And then this is some of that storm damage that happened the 14th of March, that kind of Friday, that really horrible Friday storm late that came through late. So we did have a number of trees down, and I think we just should commend both the parks folks as well as Public Works who were out that next morning, cutting those trees up and clearing the debris, as well as the police department and the fire department who were in many instances out that night, kind of when they could, cut the trees up and at least get some of the roads open for the Public Works and Parks to get out the next morning and kind of clear those trees away. So it was a all staff effort to kind of clear everything up. The planning department. So as you recall, at your last work session, Carlos was here talking about the building code update that he's proposing. So there is a comment period that we need to have before the council can adopt that and make those codes official July 1st. So that comment period opened March 21st. And then we are expecting to bring back to council a bill for first reading in June and then second reading June 24th so that they can become effective July 1st. So the public can certainly come. The books are here if they want to read through some building code books if they would like, or just ask questions of staff. The police department. So we would like to welcome back Officer Octavia Heron. She was with us for a while, and then right around end of November, she left for the private sector, but she missed police work, and she wanted to come back. And so we welcomed her back. We are glad that she is here, and she's back out on the street almost as if she was never gone. So we're excited that she came back to us. And then as normal, the police department is participating in the DEA National Medication Take Back Day. It's Saturday, April 26th. It'll be here at City Center, and folks can come and bring their medication, including any pet medication that they might have that they want to safely dispose of. They can do it that day. And I just would like to note that this service is available any day that City Hall is open. We have a secure container, and folks can come in at any time and drop their medicines off and have them properly disposed of. This just happens to be kind of a one day, push it out, and people can kind of really sort of just drive by and drop it off. And then lastly, Public Works. So again, talking about that storm damage, there's a big tree that I think is in Indian Meadows, but don't quote me, that came down. So they were out again, clearing all of that out. And then the other picture, they have been milling and paving Stony Side and Heatherwood Drive this past week. They coordinated it with spring break for the Ladue School District to lessen as much as possible the impact, hoping that folks at least were not going to be driving, to school or walking to school, or maybe they were on, went out of town for spring break. So that work is about ready to be finished. However, they did find in the 100 to 112 block of Heatherwood Drive, they found that the pavement was just really, really bad. They brought the big heavy trucks in and it just kind of squished. So Public Works is gonna have to dig that out, pour some concrete slabs to shore up that base layer, and then they will come back and repave. So there is going to be a section that's not finished, but will be finished.
Will they put rock before they do the cement for the further support? Okay,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right, okay.
And that's all I have, unless you have any additional questions.
Does anybody have any additional questions of the city manager at all? I again just want to say each report has become extremely specific, extremely informational. And if you wanted additional information about what you all are going to be dealing with in June for the ICC and the upgrade of the codes, Carlos has, some good information in his packet, which is one of the links. And it's been getting discussed at the annual PCDC meeting for a couple of meetings. So thank you so much for that. We will go on now into item number 5, which is monthly financial reports with Mr. Mann. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We have our fiscal year up to the end of February to look at today. And overall, nothing new to report except for one minor thing in property taxes, but sales taxes are they're steady, but still remained below where we expected them to be at the beginning of the year. That's something that's in same reporting we've had for the full fiscal year here. Property taxes, the county's caught up. We've got our money now, and it's a little bit above expectations. I think we're going to be right at budget once the protest funds are released. Kind of a highlight there, we did receive $450,000 in TIF funds, so the pilots, which is the amount above the base of the property taxes. So that will be forwarded over to the trustee next month. So we'll see that, and that's in the back of one of the Gateway TIF fund. That's good news there. So the beginning of some of the revenue from the development. Utility taxes mixed but stable. We'll see a chart here in a second of kind of what's driving that. Parks and Rec, some good news there. Baseball is ahead of expectations, and then membership, that line item itself made up some ground over the last month, which is good news. Hopefully that continues into the next year, and that will help with our budgeting. The remaining categories, we looked a little bit with it, some of the staff report from Carlos, but licenses are coming in a little bit earlier than we expected with the May and June deadlines, and then permits are down, but that's mostly because of the commercial permits. Residential permits are up. We're, I think, 90% of where we thought we would be for the whole year. And Carlos does a really good write-up on that in his report. Let's go to the next page here. Sorry, before we were there, you're fine. But we're well within our reserve policy. Reserve policy is 50% of expenses of this year and 50% as we project 5 years out. We do that during our budgeting, and we'll talk about that next week. So let's go to the chart. So one thing about utility taxes and government revenue charts in general are fantastically boring. That's okay because it's based on taxes. The water bill here for 7 years is a little bit of an exception because we used to pay our water bills quarterly. They switched that, and you can see now the utility tax of 10% is now given to us monthly. And where we're at today, and chart is a little bit off. We usually look at the orange line, but the orange line is actually 24. We're in 25, and you can see that. For one thing, the orange line all the way to the right, see how it's 0 for a couple months. And then it kicks back up, and then the beginning of this year is very positive. And that's because they were sending our checks, that's right, checks to 94.73 Olive, and that stopped Well, so there's 7 years later, the post office said enough's enough. And they wondered why they weren't forwarding our checks anymore. We got this all straightened out now and we're getting it. We're getting it automatically like the rest of the utilities, but that's the story of the water. And that's most of the time when we look at our budgeting, everything's got a little bit of a story unless it's really nice and steady, like you see in these last couple of years. So I thought I'd bring out a new chart this month and there you go. And you can see the beginnings of the years, people use more water as they water their yards. And then in the winter times yeah, there you go. You do that in the beginning of in the spring there, you can see a little bump. Yeah, either way, I don't have anything. We'll talk about more of this. I guess bottom line is we don't see any new surprises here that's going to affect us during budgeting. Hopefully, if anything, we see things kind of continue to pick up where they were. Next Tuesday, we got the first of our budget meetings. So any questions you have there, here, I'm more than happy to answer tonight and we can talk about them, the future next week.
Does anybody have any questions of Mr. Mann? I just have one, we're getting closer and closer on our reserve, situation. I've been kind of hearing about some hurt and pain with leaving the state of Missouri and where it's going. We're hearing about the school districts and other areas and just some shortfalls. You think we're still okay with the 50%? We at one time were thinking of going up to 75 and we kind of put the brakes
Yeah.
on that, but you think we're still good there?
On a kind of a reserve policy is usually based, on your future. With the reserve policy was created for the exact situation we're in right now. And so we may, in the next year, several years, maybe see if what is a good 5-year out kind of figure that we're shooting for. 50% can be hard to reach, especially when we're right where we're at within an adjustment period from dropping sales taxes where the expenses are still feeling pressure from inflation on wages, on cost of goods. Costs of things never go down. But when you lose a major sales tax or major revenue source of any kind, yeah, this is something we'll talk about. Usually, I don't like to talk about your reserve policy when you're making your budget because that's the time that it feels like we're pressuring ourselves to change it just so that we can make it. But we are at a time maybe where we could reevaluate whether 50% in 5 years is a good number. What is the 5-year goal of our fund balance? And we can talk about that at length during budgeting or any time really. But
Okay, I appreciate that. And yes, that's exactly what it's for when things are lean and tight, that's when you can go into or a catastrophe of some sort, loss of equipment, whatever. So I know I'm going out the door, but I've not seen that for years and just.
it'll be a long time before you stop paying attention though.
Yeah. Thank you so
Yeah, you
much.
bet.
All right, we have a very short agenda here. The next item is item number 6, which is city council reports. I will go to my right and my fellow council member, Councilmember Weil.
I have no reports at this time.
Okay, you have no report. Councilmember Clark.
I have no reports at this time.
All right, Councilmember Solomanoff.
No report at this time.
And my fellow peer, Chairman Pro Tem Rick Knox.
I have no report, Madam Mayor.
Alrighty. I can report that we did not have a Planning Community Design Commission on March 20th because it was spring break. We did not have a quorum for the earlier Planning Community Design Commission, so no actions were taken and just conversation was had during that meeting. And with that, we can go on to item number 7, which is hearing from citizens. I don't see anybody online. There is nobody in the audience. So we will move on to bill, item number 8, bill number 3043. Madam Clerk.
Bill 3043, an ordinance authorizing the city of Olivet to enter into and execute a contract with St. Louis County, Missouri for vector control services and authorizing and directing the city manager of the city of Olivet to enter into, on behalf of said city, a contract with St. Louis County, Missouri for vector control services. Second reading.
All right, thank you very much. And you saw the response from the city manager from your inquiry, Philip?
Yes, I did.
Okay, all right, very good. Okay, Ms. Yackley, do you want to tee this up at all?
I mean, I can. So this is the Vector Control Services. This is a multi-year contract for 5 years. We have had, our current contract is expiring, so this is a renewal of that contract. As we talked about last time, the fees are going up. There was a question last time as to whether or not residents can opt out of spraying. The answer to that question is yes, they can. They just need to reach out to St. Louis County to be able to do that. Again, the spraying that St. Louis County does is only if it is needed after they have done testing. So it is not just, we do it every Monday at, 10 o'clock at night. It's a targeted, I will say, right? It's targeted for when it is needed. So unless you have other questions, there is a recommended action.
My fellow council members, does anyone have a question or follow-up with the city manager? And if not, please, there's a recommended action in front of you. I will entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve bill number 3043, an ordinance authorizing the city of Olivet to enter into and execute a contract with St. Louis County, Missouri for vector control services, and authorizing and directing the city manager of the city of Olivet to enter into on behalf of such city a contract with St. Louis County, Missouri for vector control services.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Please poll the council.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Weil,
Yes.
Councilmember Solomonov,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Knox,
Yes.
Mayor Waldman.
Yes.
The motion is approved. Bill 3043 becomes ordinance 2813.
All right, thank you so much. We are now at item number 9, which is the second part of hearing from citizens. I still do not see anybody online and there's nobody in the audience. So we will move forward on to item number 10, which is the review and acceptance of the minutes from our previous city council meeting. I saw nothing that needed to be corrected.
I did not. I'm happy to make a motion.
Please do
If-
so.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the minutes from March 11th, 2025.
Second.
Moved and seconded to accept and acknowledge the minutes of March 11th, 2025. Please poll the council.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Weil,
Yes.
Councilmember Solomonov,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Knox,
Yes.
Mayor Waldman.
Yes.
Motion is passed.
Thank you so much. We are on to item number 11, which is the city attorney's report. Good evening, Ms. Carr.
Good evening, and I just have a very brief report tonight. So usually when a city council or board of aldermen entertains a zoning matter, you'll have a public hearing before the governing body. And usually what happens is that you want to go ahead and continue that public hearing or leave it open for the second reading if the second reading occurs at a subsequent meeting. So, and that is commonplace. Most cities do that. Just last week, the Court of Appeals issued a decision addressing the procedures when you do want to have a public hearing opened at one meeting, but you want to continue that and leave it open as a subsequent meeting. And so I'm going to be suggesting just a little additional language to your notices of public hearing to respond to that decision. So City of Olivet should be just fine then with its notices of public hearing for all zoning matters.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And that issue came to my attention at the Municipal League Executive Board meeting. And when I spoke with our attorney, she kind of did define that there were some missteps by that process, but at the same time, it's good for us to make sure we're covering our bases, because I kind of said, we did that in the past. But I appreciate that so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the city attorney is the last item other than item 12, which is adjournment. There is no need for an executive session. It is 7:30 on the nose, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded, 7:30, city council's adjourned.
Man, that went by fast.